Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Raven here. Today we're going to do the Fey creatures in the Creature Codex. I'm going to try my best to pronounce all these. All of these are my versions of different creatures from Irish folklore. So, first we have the Banshee. And here's the Banshee. And it has armor of 10, health 25, mana 15, base attack 2, saves fortitude 3, reflex 4, will 2, damage threshold 0, size small, speed 20 feet, charisma modifier -2, con +1, dex +1, intelligence +3, strength +3, wisdom -2. Creature type Fey. Skills perception +2, survival +1, special senses, magic sight 10 feet. Abilities vengeful gaze. Any creature that begins or ends its turn within line of sight of this creature becomes affected by the paralyzed condition until the end of this creature's next turn. Ghostly body. This creature is always incorporeal. Multi-attack. The Banshee can make 2 attacks instead of 1 whenever making an attack. Combat. Claw. Target 1 creature within 5 feet. On a hit, the target creature takes 1d4 damage and has its strength score reduced by 1 until the end of this creature's next turn. Vengeful Scream. All hostile creatures within a 20-foot radius that can hear this scream take 2d8 damage and have their constitution score reduced by 1 for the next 30 minutes. Tactics. This creature always begins combat with its scream, followed by its claw. Lore. It is said when a woman dies with vengeance in her heart, she is reborn as a banshee. Number 2 is the Leprechaun. And here's the Leprechaun. And the Leprechaun has an armor of 10, health of 10, mana 5, base attack 1, saves fortitude 1, reflex 3, will 2, damage threshold 0, size small, speed 10 feet, modifiers charisma +4, con +2, dex +2, intelligence -1, strength -1, wisdom -1. Creature type Fey. Skills perception +2, persuade +3, survival +4, special senses, magical sight 10 feet. Abilities pot of gold. Once per 24 hours, this creature can create a pot of gold. Any hostile creature that comes in contact with either this pot of gold or one or more of the pieces of gold from this pot have their constitution score reduced by half for the next 24 hours. If a creature dies while affected by this curse, then that creature is resurrected as a leprechaun within the next 24 hours. Combat. Bite. Target 1 creature that is within 5 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 1d4 damage. Punch/kick. Target 1 creature that is within 5 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 1d4 damage. Tactics. This creature will always begin combat by trying to persuade its enemies that it is non-hostile by giving them a gold coin from its pot of gold. Lore. Not much is known about these creatures other than they dwell within the realm of Fey, and they very rarely cross over into the world of Voidheart. Number 3 is the Pixie, and here's the Pixie, and she has armor 15, health 50, mana 35, base attack 3, saves fortitude 3, reflex 3, will 3, damage threshold 10, size tiny, speed 30 feet, modifiers Charisma plus 6, Con plus 2, Dex plus 8, Int plus 1, Strength plus 1, Wisdom plus 1. Creature type is Fey. Skills: Acrobatics plus 2, Athletics plus 2, History plus 2, Perception plus 3, Nature Mana Gathering plus 5. Special senses: Magic Sight, 15 feet. Abilities: Invisibility. This creature is always considered to be invisible unless it chooses otherwise. Transform Self. Once per 24 hours, this creature can transform into any other creature. Immunities: this creature is immune to earth, air, poison, psychological, and sound damage. Additionally, this creature cannot be poisoned or diseased in any way. And multi-attack: the pixie can make 2 attacks instead of 1 whenever making an attack. And then its combat is Bite. Target one creature within 5 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 1d4 damage, and its armor is reduced by 5 until the end of this creature's next turn. Punch/kick. Target one creature that is within 5 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 1d4 damage, and its armor is reduced by 2 until the end of this creature's next turn. Pixie Dust. All hostile creatures within a 10-foot radius take 2d4 damage and become affected by either the charmed or frightened condition until the end of this creature's next turn. Transform Other. Target one creature that is within 30 feet. On a hit, that creature is transformed into an inanimate object for 24 hours. Tactics. This creature always begins combat with its Transform Other, followed by its Pixie Dust, only using its Bite and Punch/kick while in close range. Lore. Not much is known about these creatures other than they dwell within the realm of Fey, and they are said to both be mischievous and friendly. It is also said that if one becomes your best friend, then it will grant you one wish that is within its power to grant. Number 4 is the Kelpie. And here is the Kelpie. And there we go. The Kelpie has an armor of 15, health 80, mana 40, base attack 3, saves fortitude 5, reflex 5, will 2, damage threshold 0, size medium, speed 50 feet, modifiers: charisma plus 2, con plus 2, dex plus 4, intelligence plus 1, strength plus 5, wisdom plus 1. Creature type Fey. Skills: acrobatics plus 2, athletics plus 2, survival plus 3, perception plus 4, nature mana gathering plus 5. Special senses: magical darkness sight, 40 feet. Abilities: waterproof. This creature can function normally while underwater. Additionally, this creature has immunity to all water damage. In addition, whenever this creature would be dealt water damage, it instead regains an amount of health equal to the damage that would have been dealt. And multi-attack. The Kelpie can make 2 attacks instead of 1 whenever making an attack. And then combat. Bite. Target one creature within 10 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 1d6 damage and becomes affected by the grappled condition until the end of this creature's next turn. And Tail. Target one creature within 10 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 1d6 damage and it is pushed back up to 10 feet. Tactics. This non-hostile creature will always begin combat by trying to escape. If this is not possible, then it will use its tail to push an enemy back while trying to escape again. If this does not work, then it will fight to the end by using its bite and tail. Lore. Not much is known about these creatures other than they dwell within the realm of Fey and sometimes cross over into the oceans of Voidheart. It is said that 100 years ago, a group of 10 of these creatures were seen off the coastline of an unknown island. Number 5 is the Nidhogg, which this one is from Celtic mythos, or Viking mythos, if you want to call it that. The Nidhogg is the world serpent. And there's the Nidhogg. It has an armor of 30, health 3000, mana 1500, base attack 15, base saves fortitude 12, reflex 8, will 10, damage threshold 50, size gargantuan, speed 250. Modifiers are charisma plus 4, con plus 12, dex plus 10, intelligence plus 2, strength plus 15, wisdom plus 2. Creature type Fey. Skills: acrobatics plus 6, athletics plus 6, survival plus 12, perception plus 12, nature mana gathering plus 15, intimidate plus 20. Special senses: magical sight 120 feet, blind seeing 120 feet. Abilities are World Eater. After 10 billion years, the symbiotic relationship between this creature and the tree of life that it was born from ends. This creature then devours the tree of life whole, putting an end to the planet that this creature was, or that the tree was located on at the time. Resistances has resistance to all damage. Immunities: it's immune to fire, earth, air, poison, water, metal, sound, and psychological. Additionally, it cannot be poisoned or diseased in any way. In addition, it's immune to all of the following conditions: grappled, restrained, paralyzed, petrified, charmed, and frightened. Multi-attack: the Nidhogg can make 4 attacks instead of 1 whenever making an attack. And then combat: bite, target one creature within 15 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 2d12 damage and becomes affected by the burned condition until the end of this creature's next turn. Claw, target one creature within 15 feet. On a hit, that target creature takes 4d12 damage and becomes affected by the prone condition until the end of this creature's next turn. Grapple, target one creature that is within 15 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 1d12 damage and becomes affected by both the grappled and restrained conditions until that creature can spend 5 combat points to escape. Devour, target one creature that is affected by this creature's grapple, and that creature is devoured, automatically killing that creature. Tactics: this creature always begins combat by targeting one creature with its grapple and then using its devour before going after another creature and repeating this process, only using its bite and claw when necessary. Lore: throughout thousands of years of study, people in the world of Voidheart have discovered the existence of this creature. The great wizards say that it is living in a symbiotic relationship with the world tree until the day that it gets big enough to devour the tree whole. When this day occurs, the world will go black as it is no more. Number 6 and this one is from Greek mythos. It is the Minotaur, except I gave it wings because I just think a Minotaur with wings is even more terrifying. Armor 15, health 100, mana 60, base attack 7, base saves fortitude 6, reflex 4, will 2, damage threshold 15. Size is large. Speed 50 feet. Modifiers: charisma plus 2, con plus 6, dex plus 4, intelligence plus 1, strength plus 8, wisdom plus 1. Creature type Bay. Skills: athletics plus 4, intimidate plus 6, nature mana gathering plus 8, perception plus 10. Special senses: dark sight 30 feet, blind seeing 15 feet. Abilities are Body of Blood. This creature has immunity to the bleeding condition. Additionally, whenever this creature would apply the bleeding condition to another creature, this ability makes the bleeding condition bypass that creature's resistance and or immunity to the bleeding condition. Resistance. This creature has resistance to all damage. Immunities. It's immune to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. Additionally, it is immune to the following conditions: Charmed and Frightened. Flyby charge. Whenever this creature moves at least 20 feet in a straight line before attacking another creature, then after that attack, this creature can fly away up to its movement speed and make one attack against another creature that is within this range, if any. Additionally, if another creature tries to attack this creature while it is flying away with the use of this ability, then that creature takes 2d6 damage and has its armor reduced by 5 until the end of this creature's next turn. Combat. Bite. Target one creature within 15 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 3d8 damage and becomes affected by the bleeding condition until the end of this creature's next turn. Punch/kick. Target one creature within 15 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 2d6 damage and becomes affected by the prone condition until the end of this creature's next turn. Stomp. Target one creature that is within 10 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 1d6 damage and is affected by the prone condition until the end of this creature's next turn. Additionally, if this attack is used on a creature that is already affected by the prone condition, then the damage from this attack is doubled and the creature becomes affected by the paralyzed condition until the end of this creature's next turn. And charging tackle. This creature moves at least 20 feet in a straight line before attacking another creature. On a hit, that creature takes 48 damage, is pushed back up to 15 feet, and becomes affected by both the bleeding and prone conditions until the end of this creature's next turn. Tactics. This creature always begins combat with its charging tackle, followed by a stomp, only using its bite and punch/kick when necessary. Lore. Not much is known about these creatures other than they dwell within the realm of Fae, and once every 10 years a group of these creatures crosses over into the world of Voidheart and massacres hundreds if not thousands of mortals before they are either stopped or return home to the Fae realm. This terrible event is called the Minotaur's March. Number 7 is back to Irish mythos with the Dullahan. And here's the Dullahan, which, if you don't know what a Dullahan is, it's a headless horseman. That's why his head is a skeleton. Armor of 12, health 60, mana 45, base attack 40, base saves fortitude 3, reflex 2, will 5, damage threshold 5, size medium, speed 30 feet, modifiers, charisma +1, con +3, dex +6, intelligence +2, strength +4, wisdom +2. Creature type Fae. Skills: perception +3, history +4, nature mana gathering +5. Special senses: blind seeing 30 feet. Abilities are headless intimidation. Any creature that begins or ends its turn within line of sight of this creature becomes affected by the frightened condition until the end of this creature's next turn. Incorporeal. This creature is always considered to be incorporeal unless it chooses to be corporeal. Resistance. It has resistance to all damage. And immunities. Immunity. This creature is immune to all attacks that come from a creature that does not have incorporeal strike. Meaning if you have to have incorporeal strike to hit this creature, which is a trained feature that you can obtain through the trained features and leveling up. Combat Spectral Scythe. Target one creature within 10 feet. On a hit, that creature becomes decapitated. A creature decapitated in this way remains alive for the next 24 hours. Additionally, if a creature is decapitated in this way and is able to return its head to its body within the next 24 hours, then the head will heal and it will function normally. In addition, any creature that is decapitated in this way has its head transported to a pocket dimension within the Dullahan's chest. This pocket dimension can only be reached once the Dullahan is dead and its body disintegrates before forming into a portal for up to the next 24 hours that leads to this pocket dimension. Spectral Dagger. Target one creature within 5 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 1d4 damage and becomes affected by the bleeding condition for the next 24 hours. Summon Spectral Horse. This creature summons a horse that has the incorporeal ability, just like this creature's incorporeal ability. Additionally, the horse is underneath this creature's telepathic command and remains until its health is reduced to 0. Tactics. This creature always begins combat by summoning its spectral horse and then closing the distance so that it can use its scythe, only relying on its spectral dagger when it is dismounted. Lore. It is said that these creatures were once from the realm of Fae, but have now been within the world of Voidheart for so long that other Fae creatures actively force portals closed whenever one of these creatures attempts to make its way home to the Fae realm. Number 8 is the Kusith, and this is the Kusith, which is the bestest boy, Ghost Doggy. He's got an armor of 16, health 150, mana 100, base attack 6, saves fortitude 8, reflex 6, will 4, damage threshold of 20, size large, speed 35, charisma plus 4, con plus 10, dex plus 8, int plus 2, strength plus 12, whiz plus 2, creature type Fae, skills, athletics plus 5, acrobatics plus 5, survival plus 6, perception plus 6, intimidate plus 8, nature mana gathering plus 10, special senses, magical sight 15 feet, blind seeing 30 feet, abilities, incorporeal. This creature is always considered to be incorporeal unless it chooses to be corporeal. Standard size. This creature gains all the benefits and none of the negatives from its size category. Resistance. This creature has resistance to all damage. Immunity. This creature has immunity to all the following damage types: bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, fire, air, water, earth, lightning, poison, metal, psychological, and sound. Additionally, this creature cannot be poisoned or diseased in any way. In addition, it is immune to all of the following conditions: charmed, frightened, grappled, restrained, paralyzed, and petrified. And it is also immune to all sapping and draining abilities, spells, attacks, etc. And a sapping / draining ability, spell, attack, etc. would be something like the Banshee's attack that saps away strength, or something that saps away like mana or levels. And then Ghostly Gaze. Any hostile creature that begins or ends its turn within a 15-foot radius of this creature or within line of sight of this creature becomes affected by the petrified condition. Additionally, this bypasses a creature's resistance and or immunity to the petrified condition. Bonded Friend. Each 24 hours, this creature can choose a non-hostile creature that is within a 30-foot radius of it and make that creature its bonded friend. While this creature and another creature are bonded in this way, both creatures gain the following 3 benefits. 1. Both creatures have resistance to all damage. 2. Both creatures gain a damage threshold of 30. If either creature already has a damage threshold, then their damage threshold is increased by 30. 3. Whenever either of these creatures deals damage, they regain an amount of health equal to half the amount of damage dealt. And then additionally, as in additionally to the ability, not additionally to number 3, if this creature bonds with the same creature at least 3 times throughout both creatures' lifetimes, then this creature can choose to make that creature its permanently bonded friend. In addition, if this creature chooses another creature to become its permanently bonded friend, then both creatures permanently gain the previous 3 benefits, which are the ones that I just read. And then bonded rider. Any creature that is using this creature as a mount and that is not either a bonded or permanently bonded friend cannot move unless this creature moves. Additionally, while using this creature as a mount, all of both creatures' movement speeds are added together in order to create a new movement speed total. In addition, if a bonded or permanently bonded friend is using this creature as a mount, then both creatures gain the following 3 benefits. 1. If either creature is attacked, the other can spend 1 combat point to redirect the attack back at the attacker. 2. If either creature is attacked, the other creature can spend 1 combat point to have that creature dodge the attack. 3. The rider cannot be dismounted in any way unless it or the mount decides differently, and the mount cannot have its movement speed reduced in any way. And then multi-bonded attack. The Kusith can make 2 attacks instead of 1 whenever making an attack. If this creature is bonded with another creature, then it can make 3 attacks instead of 2 whenever making an attack. And if this creature's bonded creature is currently using this creature as a mount, then this creature can make 4 attacks instead of 2 whenever making an attack. And then combat is Spectral Bite. This creature teleports up to 120 feet before targeting a creature on a hit. That creature takes 3d10 damage, and this creature regains an amount of health equal to the damage dealt in this way. Additionally, if this attack reduces a creature's health to 0, then that creature is resurrected as a ghost underneath this creature's telepathic control. Spectral Breath. This creature lets loose spectral energy within a 15-foot cone. All hostile creatures within this affected radius take 10d10 damage and become affected by the paralyzed condition until the end of this creature's next turn. Additionally, this bypasses a creature's resistance and or immunity to the paralyzed condition. In addition, any creature that has its health reduced to 0 in this way is resurrected as a Kusith underneath this creature's telepathic control. And summon corrupted pixies. This creature summons 1d10 corrupted pixies underneath its telepathic command. Additionally, these corrupted pixies remain until their health points is reduced to 0. In addition, whenever one of these corrupted pixies has its health points reduced to 0, it explodes in a 20-foot radius, dealing 5d10 damage to all hostile creatures within this affected radius, and the Kusith regains an amount of health equal to the damage dealt in this way. Tactics. This creature's tactics depend on if it has a friendly bonded creature or not. If this creature is bonded to another creature, then it will listen to that creature's commands. If this creature is not bonded to another creature, then it will always begin combat with its summoned corrupted pixies, followed by its breath weapon, using its bite whenever necessary. Lore. These creatures used to reside within the realm of Fae until they were tricked into leaving through a portal that had a special magic placed upon it, making it to where any creature that went through it was not allowed to come back through. This was 10,000 years ago. Since then, these creatures have become close friends and allies with mankind. Some even say that they are man's best friend, while others say that man's best friend is the Tyrannosaurus duck. Personally, I, the narrator, prefer the Kusith. Number 9 is the corrupted pixie, which is right here. Here's the corrupted pixie. And she has armor of 30, health 100, mana 70, base attack 6, base save 6, reflex 6, will 6, damage threshold 20, size tiny, speed 60, modifiers charisma 12, charisma plus 12, con plus 4, dex plus 16, int plus 2, strength plus 2, wisdom plus 2. Creature type Fae. Skills acrobatics plus 4, athletics plus 4, history plus 4, perception plus 6, nature mana gathering plus 10. Special senses, magical sight 30 feet, blind seeing 30 feet. Abilities, invisibility. This creature is always considered to be invisible unless it chooses otherwise. Incorporeal. This creature is always considered to be incorporeal unless it chooses to be corporeal. Transform self. 3 times per 24 hours, this creature can transform into any other creature. Immunities. It has immunity to all air, earth, poison, psychological, dark, and sound damage. Additionally, it cannot be poisoned or diseased in any way. And multi-attack. The corrupted pixie can make 4 attacks instead of 1 whenever making an attack. And then it's combat. Bite. Target one creature within 5 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 2d4 damage, and its armor is reduced by 10 until the end of this creature's next turn. Punch/kick. Target one creature that is within 5 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 2d4 damage, and its armor is reduced by 4 until the end of this creature's next turn. Pixie Dust. All hostile creatures within a 20-foot radius take 4d4 damage and become affected by either the Charmed or Frightened condition until the end of this creature's next turn. Transform Other. Target one creature that is within 60 feet. On a hit, that creature is transformed into an inanimate object for the next 24 hours. Tactics. This creature always begins combat with its Transform Other, followed by its Pixie Dust, only using its Bite and Punch while in close combat. Lore. Long ago, in the world of Voidheart, about 1,000 years ago, after the pixies first arrived in our world, an evil witch and wizard gathered a group of these pixies and experimented on them for their own nefarious deeds. After multiple years of experimentation, the pixies became corrupted with the magic of our world, and they became corrupted pixies. Those of these creatures that were able to escape made their way to different woods around the world, and as far as it is known, they still remain there. But be warned, for those who cross the path with a corrupted pixie are said to follow a path of corruption themselves. And then number 10 is, if I'm pronouncing this right, the Slaguth, or Slagath. And yes, I know it has one wing. It's supposed to have one wing. It is a corrupted Fey spirit. It has an armor of 12, health of 30, mana of 20, base attack 2, saves fortitude 2, reflex 4, will 1, damage threshold 5, size tiny, speed 10 feet, modifiers charisma -3, con +3, dex +2, int -1, strength +4, wisdom -1, creature type Fey, skills perception +3, survival +2, intimidate +4, nature mana gathering +5, special senses, magic sight 10 feet. Abilities, resistances. It has resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. Immunity. It's immune to poison, earth, metal, and air. Additionally, it cannot be poisoned or diseased in any way. Multi-attack. It can make 2 attacks instead of 1. Combat is bite. Target one creature within 5 feet. On a hit, that creature takes 1d8 damage and becomes affected by the bleeding condition until the end of this creature's next turn. Claw. Target one creature within 5 feet. That creature takes 2d8 damage and becomes affected by the prone condition until the end of this creature's next turn. Tactics. This creature always begins combat with its claw attack before using its bite. Lore. It is said whenever the heart of a Fae becomes corrupted and turns evil, the gods within the Fae realm transform that creature into its heart's true form, birthing this creature into existence. Thank you all. Like, subscribe, and I hope you all have a nice day, and share this with anyone that you think would like to use these monsters in their adventures. And we're going to continue with the creature codex until we're done, and then we will have plenty of monsters for our adventures to come. Thank you all again, and I hope this has been a good enough overview of Fae creatures. If you have any more ideas of creatures that you want me to make, just leave a comment in the comment section below.